All right, all right. Happy Tuesday at noon. We changed our time. We're glad so many of you are able to join us live and on Instagram. Today, well, let me introduce myself and then Dr. Ashley, please introduce yourself to the people. I'm Dani Flynn. I am a allergy survivor. And I've been with doTERRA now for 6 years. I'm a US founder. And yeah, it's going to be a good topic. Very, a topic that hits close to home. This was actually a requested topic. Someone requested it. So we're
It's
going to,
just the season.
tis the season. Yeah. How about you? You want to introduce yourself to the peoples?
Yeah, what's up, y'all? I'm Dr. Ashley Anderson, also an allergy survivor, also a US Founder 2.0, also a platinum, like all the things, everything Danny said. But I live in Kentucky and I'm a women's health nurse practitioner. Um, for those that have never stepped foot in this river valley in which we live, this is one of the top worst places to live if you have seasonal allergies.
Really? I
So
thought North
yeah,
Carolina was.
I got a lot to say. so so
Really?
what happens, in the river valley, it's like, and of course a lot of Kentucky is rural, but even here in Louisville, that is the city, more urban, things just like sit
Mm.
in the air. It's like because we're in the valley.
Oh, you're in
So
the actually,
mhm,
I've never been to Kentucky. I gotta come
well, you have to
right
fix
as soon as
that
I leave.
immediately.
Right as soon
Don't
as I
come
leave Texas.
between April and like April and June, maybe not.
Okay.
The change of seasons, which is one of my favorite things about Kentucky because we get all four seasons.
Hmm.
But that change from spring to summer, summer to fall, it's a beast.
Okay. Okay. All right. So listen, North Carolina, I thought was the worst. There are so many people that um come to North Carolina from other places and they were like they never had seasonal allergies until they walked into North Carolina.
That's exactly how it is here.
Okay, so it must be similar. I gotta come check it out.
Mhm.
Because we want to go on Bourbon Trail, but that's another conversation for another day. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so
somebody lived in both. Hey, girl.
who
She
are
said she
you,
lived
Dimbra?
both in
She's
North Carolina and Kentucky, and both are great.
so she knows. She knows. Do you want to go first? You want to tell your story? You want me to go first? Like how you want to play it tonight,
It didn't
today?
matter. I can go.
Okay.
I also saw Terrence. I see you in the comments on Insta saying, "What about allergies in Africa? You're going to Africa." First of all, how are you going to Africa? You're not inviting us to go.
Hello.
Second, second, yeah, this is going to be pretty much a universal protocol that we're going to talk about. So I have, well, growing up, the only things I knew I was allergic to were mold and mildew. That's all, mom ever told me. That was the big thing. Then I like to be outside.
Hmm.
And as I got older, especially I would say in my 20s, I ran outside a whole lot.
Hmm.
I would also, during my master's program, I used to live near Central Park. So I would go to the park and sit and read and write and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And it
Sounds
was
beautiful.
tearing me up. I'm like, man, but I only thought I was allergic to mold and mildew. There's not mold and mildew out here. What's going on? So I got allergy tested. And this is probably around 25. And the allergist said, you are allergic to like 97% of everything that grows here between February and October. And I was like,
That's the year.
he's like, yeah, you should move. Maybe Arizona.
Which is the land of
So
no allergies, apparently.
I
People
mean, yeah,
say.
hot
Yeah.
box though. So he said, I mean, my alternative would have been to do allergy shots, but I had so many allergies that they couldn't fit in one shot. So I would have
Mm.
had to done one in each arm every week for however long. And I was not signing up for that.
Okay.
So I just went back to rotating between Zyrtec and Claritin like every other year.
Okay.
So I would do like 1 year on Claritin, the next year on Zyrtec, and the occasional Benadryl, whatever I needed for breakthrough, because it was for sure I was getting sick at least twice a year, sinus infections like all the time. It was just bad. Um, so once I got into essential oils, like I told you, frankincense was my first thing. I actually had a sinus infection when I first started frankincense, and I was frustrated because I was on an antibiotic, was getting yeast infection like day two. I'm like, I'm sick of this life. There has to be something better.
Mhm.
Um, and the frankincense helped me so much with respiratory support, which was wild. But
Mm.
then I was introduced to Tries, which
Mhm.
is essentially 2 drops of lemon, 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of peppermint, and this cute little soft gel. And it changed my whole life. Between that and Breathe, I have not been on allergy medication in 8 years. Like,
Woohoo!
never. Like, I haven't even
This
no
thing.
decongestant, like nothing. But the
Love it.
other piece to that too, Danny, is the more that I've studied inflammation in the body, the more inflamed our bodies are, the
Hmm.
more reactionary we are. So
Interesting. No,
you
that makes
may
perfect
have
sense.
like a little bit of a, seasonal allergy, things that might irritate you. But if your body internally is inflamed, those symptoms are going to go through the roof.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the combo was lemon, lavender, and peppermint, and then breathe separate just for respiratory support. And we'll talk about, I think someone just asked in the chat on Zoom, like what the oils do. But we're gonna get into that. But
Yeah.
that's when I first started the Tri-Ease, I thought for sure I would be taking allergy medicine the rest of my life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And now, like even my kids, because my kids go to a school where they do at least 90 minutes of outdoor activity every single day, a lot of time, most times more than that. And they're in the woods, in the trees, and they are foraging and doing all of that stuff. Like real talk. My kids are
Oh,
like rangers. By the time they grow up, they're gonna be like, I don't
I
even
love it.
I won't know them. But yeah, I give them those same oils in the morning because otherwise they start that allergy cough and runny nose and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
it's very, very helpful.
Yeah.
What about you, Dani Flynn?
Well, my story started.
This is such a testimonial. Like, turn on the music.
I know. Cue the violin. Jen Davis, I'm glad to see you here. This was Jen's requested topic. She's also my cousin. So this
Hi,
runs in the
cousin.
family. We have just really bad allergies on my dad's side of the family, like really bad. And so I just have always had them, always, as long as I can remember. And I remember being like 8 or so, and just having to take so many medicines at a young age, and just I don't know, like 8 stands out in my head, just kind of this idea of like, oh, this is like normal. This is what you will have to do all the time. And so I had a lot of sinus issues, and I used to have to blow my nose all the time. I'm not even going to tell, I won't even go there. All the time. I never had tissue on me, which is the dumbest thing because I've always had congestion in my nose and always blowing my nose. And so as I got older, this is just, that I'd go to the doctor and they would say, okay, you need, so I never took a test. I don't know what I'm allergic to, but it's everything.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's everything. I am very sensitive to chemicals that I didn't realize that's what it was then. And my allergies trigger asthma. So like my allergies will be bad and that will turn into an asthma attack. And so this was my life, all of my life. As I got older and started to like, go to doctors and stuff on my own, like, okay, this is ridiculous. I figured out the combination for me with like synthetic medication. I would do Alavert D. Alavert worked best for me. So I do Alavert D, decongestant, and I took that every single day of my life. It didn't matter what the season was. I always had to take an Alavert D. And if I ever didn't and started to feel it, I could take an Alavert D and it would knock it out. And then I started to learn more. I took a biology class when I was in college, and it was phenomenal. I wish I could find that teacher because I learned so much in that class. Um, and one of the things that I learned was like, like if you're stuffy, if you're congested, you actually don't need to dry that up. You need to like drain it out.
Mhm.
So the idea, I don't know how I can stop my phone from jumping. The idea of drying it up when your body is trying to get it out was starting to not sit well with me. So I'd go to the doctor and I'd say, like, these are all the things that I'm dealing with. And they would say, and you need I was prescribed an inhaler for my asthma, um, like an over-the-counter decongestant, a nose spray, and eye drops, like all the things, right? I just was like, why am I taking all these medications? Then I started to read about the side effects of being on a decongestant long term. Now, at this point, I'm in my 30s. I'm still doing the regimen because it works, but I'm in my 30s at this point, and now I'm diagnosed with pre high blood pressure. What is it called? Pre hypertension?
Hypertension. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like fully, but it was like you're on the cusp. And my doctor said to me, well, you should just go ahead and take a blood pressure pill. Just go ahead and take it because, I have a lot of stress and she said it could be a combination of stress and or your allergy pills. And when you take a decongestant for so long, it may or may not be reversible, what your blood pressure. So, okay, something's got to change. So my mother, Pat Hicklin is her name. She was on me like this, like you're taking too many medicines, blah, 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 blah. You need to see, it's resonating. It's resonating. We're seeing the reactions. People, she was forced me to see a reflexologist. Okay. This was like, I was married at this point. So it was, full adult life. And I finally saw a reflexologist. A reflexologist is someone, so it's holistic. And I was like anti anything natural. That stuff doesn't work. But my sister-in-law, when she was engaged to my brother, she almost died. She was so sick, and the doctors could not help her. This is my version of the story. She may tell something different, but that's what I saw. And the only thing that helped her was a reflexologist. And it's a holistic treatment, and they're basically stimulating the nerves on the bottom of your feet because it connects to all parts of the body. So I was like, I saw what he did for my sister-in-law, and I was like, okay, let's see. So I go see the reflexologist. He was, an older man. And he was just like, okay, we got a lot to work on here. So the first thing he said to me, are you guys ready for it? For all you allergy sufferers? The very first thing he said to me is, how much meat do you eat? And I was like, uh, how often do you eat meat? I'm like, I eat meat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like every other red-blooded American. Like, what do you even mean? And he was like, I think you need to consider nixing the meat. So he told me, come off meat or transition to only organic meat. Later, I did a bunch of research and I can explain that, but I'll just give you what he told me. Come off of meat, keep doing your treatments, and let's see what happens. So one day, my husband and I are walking outside. Everything's full bloom. It's like March, and my husband is sneezing and his eyes are red. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, it's allergy season. What do you mean? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any symptoms. What in the world? This was like crazy. So I'm like, okay, this is working. So at that point, I was doing only organic meat and seafood. I still had dairy. And I was able to come off of my allergy medicine. And I would only take it if something, was like triggered by something crazy. Then later I was introduced to doTERRA. And that's when I found Trice. So that was the first thing that I tried. So that was the combination Dr. Ashley mentioned, lavender, lemon, and peppermint. So I started to use that, and I found that I only needed to use that. Like, so it dramatically decreased, the diet changes dramatically decreased my symptoms dramatically. But I still had them here and there. So when I had them, I would take Triese in the spring, and now I have fall allergies, which I didn't have before. So I take them in after long time ago, yes, but after I changed my diet, I didn't have fall allergies. So now I just take Triese in the meantime, in between time, right? So much of my sensitivities are because of food. So if I tried to eat meat, especially if it's like non-organic, like just like the regular like restaurant meat, I would probably at this point probably die. My body would probably be like, what's happening here? What's happening here? So I've kept that diet. I have recently taken out, I don't eat almost no meat. I'll do like a high quality organic turkey. I can take that. I do seafood And now I am no longer on dairy because after some time I developed a sensitivity to dairy. And then I developed a sensitivity to caffeine. It's never ending. I'm now feeling a sensitivity to sugar. Like my body is so, so super sensitive. But I don't know if you want to, that's my story, but it's now 100% like in control. I know exactly what to do. When I start to feel it, I know my go-tos. I don't know if you want to talk regimens now, but like I know the things to pull to manage it naturally, but so much of it for me is diet. And
Yeah.
also, my reflexologist back then really encouraged me to increase my water intake because he's like, sometimes when you have something in your system, you just need to flush it out. And we're not
Hmm.
drinking enough water for that to happen. So he was really good in that. I no longer have a reflexologist and I miss it. I really want one again. I know. But I figured out through doTERRA, in addition to diet, a pretty solid regimen.
Hmm. I wanted to just say, like, some people were like, reflexologist, what is this? But they were practicing reflexology in the Bible. So if you scroll through, there's a couple of healing rituals for leprosy, for
Hmm.
example, using hyssop. And
Hmm.
they talk about using it at a specific point on the right toe and the right ear and such. That's
Interesting.
reflexology. Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah, it's super, super I don't know. It just reflexology, I feel like having that treatment opened my brains and my eyes to the world of holistic medication. And I needed to understand like physiologically what is happening.
Like,
So
why
I'm
did
going to
this
give
work?
you like, what did you say?
Like, why did this work?
Yes, like I
Mhm.
needed to understand it. And so I'm going to give you my explanation of it, and then maybe Dr. Ashley can give you the scientific explanation of it.
Okay.
But how I and tell me, if this is right, because this is totally
Hmm.
me asking a bunch of questions and kind of piecing together in my brain. So basically, why so much of the food that we eat is just loaded with toxic stuff, right? Hormones and all kinds of things are added to the food that we eat. And so, especially if you have a sensitive system like me, I'm just so sensitive. Your body just can't do a ton of things at one time, right?
Hmm.
So if stuff is blooming and you have a reaction to that, a sensitivity to that, your body can't process all of the toxins, get that out of your system, and put out the histamines, right? Or is it the antihistamines?
Hmm.
Whatever it
The
needs,
antihistamines. Uh-huh.
yeah, to block the histamines that you're now exposed to. It just can't do it all. So you have to support it, right? And so by taking just for me, just by taking some of those toxins out of my diet and being cognizant, I get or I buy organic as often as possible. And a lot of people have told me throughout my life, they're like, organic doesn't do anything, doesn't mean anything. And I'm like, I can tell you right now that is incorrect. That is
Hmm.
incorrect because I feel it. I feel
Hmm.
it. Maybe the all natural is a label, but the USD organic, there is something different that I feel. Maybe others don't. I don't know what's going on here. So, do you have a comment about that?
Oh, I was just gonna say some things you don't feel, but it's happening inside. It's like
Correct.
your body is not trying to rid of toxins and pesticides and such that are in the normal produce.
Yeah, especially for some reason the meat for me is just super sensitive. And also like my blood type when I look at I don't know if you've read Eat Right for
I
Your Blood.
haven't read that. It's on my list.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, fiddlesticks, whatever. I don't believe that. And then I did just a little bit of research on my blood type and the list of things that I should not consume. And when I tell you everything that I know I can't eat is on the list. Maybe I should have read that and
Mm,
started this process. But your body just can't do
interesting.
all the things. Yeah. And the thing about dairy, and I knew dairy was eventually I loved it. I loved dairy. So
Same.
I just was like, how can I live without it? I knew it wasn't good for me, but I didn't know what it did. But dairy is just so highly inflammatory. And I just was operating in this a place of this is just normal. People have allergies. This is just what happens. People get congested. But I did notice after I got married, I was like, oh, like everybody doesn't blow their noses. But just me. I'm constantly congested. And now we're what, almost we're 18 years married. He can tell if I've eaten
Subtle
something.
flex.
He can tell right now. Like he'll be like, "What did you eat?" He can tell because I'll be congested. He'll know exactly like, "Did you have some dairy?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Something must have had dairy in it." My body is so like reacts to it, but it's so inflammatory. So to your point, again, when your body is in an inflamed state, it just can't do the things that it actually should be able to do. We should be able to go
For
out.
sure.
We should be able to go out,
Hmm. Yeah,
right? And
we just, our
sports.
systems were designed to detoxify, but not at the level at which we are bombarding it.
I mean, it's just everywhere we turn,
Hmm.
right?
Yep. And I mean, you hit all the big inflammatory agents in our diet, like
Hmm.
sugar, caffeine, dairy, animal products, meat, basically.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Um,
realize that. So caffeine is highly inflammatory as well.
oh yeah,
Huh?
girl. That's why your body is like, we don't need this.
That's
Yeah.
so
I
interesting.
have literally heard people in the natural realm say that caffeine was the last legal drug.
I mean, I
Makes
certainly
sense.
react to it. I just, and then I think
You
like,
think
hmm,
when you think about like withdrawal, you have a withdrawal
oh yeah,
symptom.
you're
Like
right.
if you stop,
You're right.
uh-oh. Terrence said, is that tea in your cup? Hopefully it's decaffeinated herbal.
It's decaf. It's decaf.
Thanks, T.
That's
T
hilarious.
caring about you today, sis.
I appreciate
Um,
it.
man, but yeah, like all of those things are highly inflammatory to our bodies. And then you add in the perfuming and all the stuff that we've talked about before,
Yeah.
the chemicals and toxins we put on our body, the things that we smell and just
Mm.
around our homes and workplaces and the Febrezes and the laundry detergents that we smell in our clothes all day. Like it's a lot.
Clean our house with. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so much. And I had this experience just, you know, Dr. Ashley's running a pain study
Oh yeah. It's
program.
like a 30-day pain challenge, natural, all natural stuff.
Yeah, that's from,
Decreasing inflammation. So some of the stuff we're going to work on
yeah.
is removing those inflammatory substances from your life.
So I had this experience the other day. Okay, we're coming back to the allergy regimens. I just want to tell you
I
guys.
promise.
I just want you guys to hear this, and I want the doctor to step in.
Yeah.
I had I ordered some Girl Scout cookies, okay,
Oh boy.
to support the show. And I love the Thin Mints, right? But I can devour the Thin Mints. I won't have any sweets for like months, and then I'll devour some Thin Mints. So I got
Time
about
out. Girl Scout cookies, last legal drug. Go ahead.
that part. And when I'm stressed, it's like right if I'm anxious or whatever. So it was a very busy day. I had a lot to do. I ate a sleeve, the whole sleeve of Girl Scout cookies in like an hour. Like it was not all day, in an hour. Within like 30 minutes, I had the most severe back pain I think I've ever had. It was my
Mhm.
lower back pain. I could barely walk. And I was embarrassed because I was with like really healthy people, and I was like walking, like I was like, what's happening to me? What is happening to me? I've never, but it wasn't like the typical like I hurt something. It wasn't like that. It was like an ache, and I'm like,
Oh,
what is happening to me? So the next day, I did everything I knew to do. The next day, I was fine. Okay. The day after that, I ate a sleeve of Girl Scout cookies. Pain came back. It was at the upper body, super intense. And I was like, is that sugar? Is that sugar creating back pain? So I started to Google it.
inflammation.
I had no idea. And I wondered to myself, I'm in tune with this vessel. I'm very, very in tune with I know immediately when something's not right. I'm just thinking about all the people who aren't. How many people are out there in tremendous pain because they have a sweet tooth? Like so fixable,
Hmm.
easily fixable. Anyway, we'll talk about pain another day because I feel like that's a whole conversation
The
on itself.
whole thing. But
the whole
yes,
thing about inflammation, like that was for me like a wake up, like a like, okay, we gotta be cognizant of this. It's not just about weight. It's about like all the things.
yeah. And you can't lose weight if your body's inflamed.
It's the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. So, okay, let's talk about regimens. So you mentioned Frank.
hmm Yeah, I mean, and that's part of my daily regimen for a multitude of reasons. Frankincense and copaiba.
Hmm.
When I say specifically for allergens, what I'm really working on is decreasing inflammation in my body from the inside out, and then also the lemon, lavender, peppermint trio that is specific for the allergies. So, from the anti-inflammatory side, I'm using copaiba soft gel twice a day and two of the turmeric duo capsules.
Hmm.
That's and then of course the lifelong vitality pack to help decrease inflammation in the body. From strictly allergy standpoint, like I will do a Tries soft gel, or if I don't have those, I'll do 2 drops each of lemon, lavender, and peppermint.
Hmm.
I also have a lot of grass allergies, so I will occasionally throw in some cilantro or tea tree because it really helps. I know that mm, big yuck, but in a veggie capsule, it's fine.
Okay, I'll
So,
receive that. I got a bunch of
the
celery
burp,
here.
maybe not so much, but
You said celery or cilantro?
cilantro.
Okay.
I know it's
But
yuck, but
cilantro is really good for heavy metal detoxes as well. So
mm,
there's some there's something to be said about that, especially for someone who has a lot of metal in their teeth. Another conversation. It's another conversation.
yeah,
Um, okay. And then breathe as
breathe
as
as
needed.
needed.
Yeah. Okay. So my regimen, did you guys get that? I want to make sure because I kept seeing a couple questions about the regimen. Now the Tri-Ease pills are sold out at the moment.
Y'all bottom all
I know everybody was like, it's that time
right at
again.
allergy season.
Right. I mean, like, what are the odds?
Like no.
But if you buy the lavender, lemon, and peppermint, the combo, which is will be a little bit cheaper, you'll get the free
Mhm.
veggie caps. I think that's still happening
Yeah,
until the Tri-Ease is back in stock. But wasn't Tri-Ease like on sale recently? I feel like that's what happened.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it was in April, maybe
Yeah.
March or April.
Yeah. Okay, so Sandra's got it in there. Easy air equals three,
Easier for Canada
six.
for
Yeah, for
Canada.
Canada. All right, so mine is very similar, but I add in the On Guard Plus soft gels. So
Mm,
anytime I
yeah,
start to
I
feel
take
like,
those too.
yeah, anytime I start to feel like some sort of a something happening, it's so hard to distinguish between allergies and a cold or the onset of something.
I mean,
So
at this point, if you start sneezing or coughing, you might have the flu, you might have like RSV, you might have COVID. Like
I
you
mean,
can
who
have
knows?
anything at this point.
Anything or allergies. So the moment I feel it, I'm taking two Tri-Ease and two On Guard soft gels. Two and a nap. That has,
Mm,
you guys, it works every time. And the times I've been sick 3 times since I've been with doTERRA, almost 6 years. And the 3 times that I've been sick, I did not do that combination. Either like I left one thing out, but the nap for me is so, so critical. So I do that. And then another thing that I use that you'll be some will be surprised, Terrazyme. Terrazyme really helps the body break down stuff,
I
right? So
have
if you
that.
have a food sensitivity that's triggering allergies, like so, like let's say dairy creates some sort of an allergic reaction in your body, and it starts to create inflammation. The Terrazyme really helps your body to break that down and process it. So
Mhm.
if you find that you need a little bit of additional support, pull in the Terrazyme. I don't have to do that often, but like lately, I've been waking up inflamed. I can feel it, and something is off. I gotta get back right. So I'll wake up and take two Terrazyme and a turmeric on an empty stomach because they say Terrazyme on an empty stomach will break down whatever's there. So if there's no
Mm,
food there, then it's gonna break down, get into those into the inflammation, helps with inflammation.
mhm.
And I feel it immediately. Everybody's body's different, but when I take those two on an empty stomach and just lots of water, and like a what is that thing that we put in our water?
What, oils?
That hydration.
Hydration. Oh, the recharge.
Yes. The electrolytes. If I do that with the
Mm.
electrolytes in the morning and just give it, less than an hour, I can feel everything. Like I feel it in my fingers. I don't know if you guys feel the inflammation in your fingers, but I feel it in my fingers. It just calms down. Tummy starts to settle. So those are some key. And then you mentioned lifelong vitality. That's foundational every single day. That's the jam. And then also for me, the probiotics. I have just a lot of gut issues. And I did have you ever done a thermography scan?
No,
You done that? Okay. So I did one a couple of months ago and they saw a lot of inflammation in my gut. A lot of inflammation in my gut. And I'm like, oh, is that why my tummy is so big? So I am
I'm
really
dead.
so I am honing in on gut health and reducing inflammation in my body because clearly we got an issue in the gut. But what I love about the thermography is just like a thermal reading of the body. It just gives you a different view, a different perspective, and it's based on like where they see heat or like coolness. So like they did a scan and they were like, "Oh, your right arm is really cool. Much cooler than the last time and much cooler than your left arm." And guess what? I have something is wrong with my right arm and I have like a tingling in my pinky. So they think it's a compressed nerve, right? So you see these things and then you take action, you make changes and you get another scan and then you can see the improvement. So I really want to focus on the gut and see what happens. Anyway, we're all over the place. No, I'm
Love
all over the
that.
place today.
Only other thing I would add in too, I just thought about when you were talking is digestin for
Oh,
postnasal drip. It's magic.
how do you use it for postnasal drip?
Oh, just take it internally.
Internally, not like
Hmm.
I've always applied
You
it like
can rub it. You can rub it on your face. Like not much because
it's
I don't
powerful.
like
It's
doing
the
that because
carrier
it's
oil.
strong. I
Right.
don't love the smell of digestion itself. Anyway, so you can rub it right there on your sinuses, frontals, if you need to, but also taking it internally,
Hmm.
just 2 drops is gonna help to break up that mucus.
Interesting. I've
Hmm.
done it here with like a roller. I've
Hmm.
done that and I'm like, you can, it just like the floodgates open. It helps you clear out. But I've never thought to take it internally. It's so interesting.
Hmm.
It's so
Have you
interesting.
ever done a face steam with oils for congestion?
Yeah, and it's really hard to get my face over it if peppermint is involved. Like,
You close them eyes,
that,
girl.
what oils do you use? Tell the people about it.
Um, So face steams are amazing anytime you're just congested in general. I will boil a big pot of water. And if you have a sink that you can get your legs up underneath real good, you can just run some hot water in there. But I do it on the kitchen table with a big pot of hot water. And then I normally put lemon, lavender. I normally don't do peppermint. I will do eucalyptus and tea tree. Um, and then I will just take a towel and cover my head and like make it where no air is escaping. And
Hmm.
obviously close your eyes and just sit there and breathe I would do it for 15 minutes. And it just, stuff will start coming out and you'll be snotting and everything. And it is great.
I've never done it like that,
Yeah.
ever. I'll just
Hmm.
get like tea,
Yeah. And just sniff. No, this is
a
next
smart
level
tea.
intense.
Well, I know my cousin, she messaged me one day because her husband was having some sort of issue. And that's what she did, a version of that.
Hmm.
And then she put breathe on his feet and
Hmm.
just he was sick and he just couldn't breathe. And he was fine. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, something to be said about this. Isn't it
Yeah.
amazing? Isn't it amazing that we have these beautiful natural things that we can reach for?
Yeah. It's amazing. Even like with the kids, because Ace, when he has some allergy stuff going on, it's always cough. And he even like will get that little croup sounding cough, which is awful.
Mm.
And I will literally just run a hot shower, close the doors up to the bathroom, throw some breathe on the wall, and just sit there and hold him. And 20
Mm.
minutes, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love that we have the options and things that we can reach for even for the kiddos. I mean, I think that's so amazing. Um, there was something else I was going to say, but I have forgotten. This is the version of me you get at noon.
At noon.
This is
Well,
the version at noon. But yeah, so I feel like this was a good talk, guys. So many things, you have so many tools in your toolkit. What three did you use, Dr. A?
for the face theme charity, for the face theme, it was lemon, lavender, eucalyptus, and I mentioned also tea tree. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I love it so much. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We're gonna open it up for Q&A on Zoom. All right. So if you are watching us on Instagram, we love you. Watch. Watch what happens.
I
Hey,
need to, how come it always happens on yours, but it doesn't happen on
it's
mine?
not there it is.
There
Just
it
do it.
is.
Do it on yours. Since
Do it.
I don't think you're doing your heart right.
I'm not doing my heart right.
Yeah, I think you gotta do it like that. There it
Oh,
is.
finally. I wish that they have all the hand signals. I'm good for the peace sign. No love.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Hop on over to Zoom. We'll be open for a couple more minutes to answer any questions. Thank you.
Bye.
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 All right. Any questions? I know oh, okay. Some people have already dropped.
Mhm.
People were asking about the replay. We'll put that on our social
I
media channels
I
and
have a question. Can you hear me?
yes.
So with the oils, you're saying you take the three oils. Are you swallowing these oils? Are you putting it in water? Like how do you take it?
So when I take it, I will usually I take it in the pill, the try-use pill. But if I don't have access to the pill, I will take it like a shot. So I'll do 2 drops of each, and usually that's what I'm doing right now. 2 drops of each oil, and I'll add in 2 drops of On Guard, mix it with a little in a shot glass with a little bit of water, put it in my mouth, swish, 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 swish. I don't know what that does, but that's what they told me to do. So I swish, 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 and then swallow like a shot. Works really well for me. Do you know why they recommend to swish it, Ashley?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just read that in the moms groups. But that's how I take it if I can't have it in a pill under the some people will take it right underneath their tongue. For me, that's just not as effective as it going through my entire system. I think I spoke with a doTERRA scientist about that, and he just said sometimes it does have to go through your digestive system and everything instead of going straight to the bloodstream. I don't know. Do you ever take it right underneath the tongue?
I do occasionally, but I just don't love the smell or the taste. I mean,
Okay.
it can be a little intense, but it does. I think it works better that way. When I'm super, if I'm having a rough day, then I'll definitely just bite a soft gel or put it under my tongue and let it sit for 30 seconds and then swallow.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are a couple of ways that you can do it. You can also um put it on the bottom of the feet. That's another way that you can get the oils in the
Hmm.
system. But I, like I said, for me, I need to take it through my entire system.
Okay, thank you. And what about the frankincense? Is that the same way you would apply it as well? Because I've been using the frankincense oil and I've been putting it under my tongue. But I'm not sure if that's enough. Or should I be putting drops in water instead when you say two in the morning, two in the evening?
So are you using
I
doTERRA's frankincense?
Huh? Yes, yes,
Okay, just got to clarify that.
yes,
right.
ma'am.
Yeah, I put it in a veggie capsule or right under my tongue, 2 drops twice a day.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, like when I use the frankincense just for like overall health and wellness, I do 2 drops under the tongue. But there's something about the tries, and I don't, like I got some gut stuff happening. So I think for me, that might be why my supplements work better for me. So yeah, love it. All right, guys. Any other questions that we can answer for you? If not, we will catch you next week. I think we're talking about hydration. Yeah, I can't remember. Hydration or something like that.
Um,
I need
I
some
can
more.
tell you in a second. I think I just looked at that shortly, like not too long ago. Give me 3 seconds. I'll have it for you.
How do you guys feel about our new time? Noon. Is
Yeah,
noon more
hydration.
hydration? Perfect. I need to go get hydrated right now. Okay, Sandra loves the noon time. Okay, great. Good, good, good. It's a different version of me at noon. I don't know about Dr. Ashley seems about the same, but it's definitely a different version of me.
I mean, I combed my hair this morning, so there's that.
Oh, great, great, great. You love these sessions. And I love you, cousin. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank
Mwah.
you so much.
Look at you,
Thank
Love
you.
Scott.
y'all.
Here
Have a
we
great day.
go. Okay. You too. Bye.